I found my safest place. Ride or die through the firestorm tonight. God brought us here, we'll stand and fight. You're my best friend, my love, my life. I'm going nowhere, I'm holding tight.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Looks like he decided to put me on. How is everyone tonight? My guess is he's having some computer technical difficulties. Hello, God, Guns, and Ammo. Hello, Christy, Belinda, Michelle. Always good to see you. Lisa. I'll just do the intro and welcome everybody in. Amanda. Hello, Harold. Who else we got in here tonight? Mousy. Good to see you.
Well,
Jacqueline.
that was a little strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're a turd.
I didn't even mean to do that. I hit me and it put you in.
Sure.
I don't know what's going on. I have
Mm-hmm.
no idea. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Everybody, Kaylee wanted to say hello to everybody.
Hi, Kaylee.
Kaylee, everybody saying hello. I think she's ignoring me now.
Mm.
Kaylee, everybody saying hello.
Hello.
There. Oh my goodness. So are you ready for tonight?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Ready to rock and roll?
Yep. Let's go.
Man, it's dark in here tonight for some reason. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because Kaylee's in here. It's like sucking up all the light.
Be nice.
I've been giving her trouble all day long. Maybe that'll help a little. I don't know. All right, guys. We got a special guest tonight. Travis Carpenter is joining us tonight, also known as T Carp. He kind of dabbles in a little bit of everything. He's an outdoor enthusiast, and he's also into cryptids. So, kind of the best of both worlds, if you ask me, because I like being outdoors and I like cryptids. So, and I got a story for him too when he gets on here. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's going
nice
on?
hat.
Hey, yeah, exactly. I'm probably going to take it off. I'm burning up in it. The thing about this is it's supposed to be good for what, 40, 50 degrees. And of course it's nice and 60, 70 in here. So I'm probably going to take it off.
I made that mistake the other night when I went boots on the ground. Mom had bought me one of those. I don't know what kind of hats they're called, but they're like those. Cousin Eddie hats. How about smothered, dude? I was dripping sweat.
Yes, you will. These things, here's the problem with them. They work.
There's a reason why Santa wears those hats.
That's right. How is everybody doing today? It's so awesome to be back with Abnormal Investigations. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Yeah.
We appreciate. Always glad to have you on. Nothing really. I went out the other day and I had something kind of weird happen, but I wasn't even looking for anything weird. I was filming for my outdoor channel, and I was just doing what I call a warrior's walk, just walking along the lake and the creeks, just enjoying the scenery and everything. And I found a trail, and this trail was like really well kept, and I've never seen it before, and I'm real familiar with the area. So I was like, well, I'll go down it. So I went down it, and I was filming, and whenever I got to the end of the trail, there was a weird whistle like I'd never heard before ever. And it was off on the other side of the creek, kind of in the brush. You couldn't see. And it kept doing the same whistle. So jokingly, I was like, wrong channel. I'm not looking for you today, just kind of like right. Blowing it off. And then it started making hoot owl noises all over the place in the middle of the day. I mean, continuous. And that area got really heavy feeling. I didn't feel comfortable at all. And I wasn't looking for that stuff. It was a really lighthearted day, just enjoying nature and all. And all of a sudden, man, it just ruined the day. It just pretty much ruined that filming. I'm going back there tomorrow night, boots on the ground in one of these areas. And I don't know, dude. It went from a fun day to a really heavy, dark feeling day.
some days can be like that, and it's really annoying. It's I hate that happened for you, but that's happened before to Dad, and that's happened before to me. And it's like, man, I just don't want to be around you right now. I just want to not think about
Right.
this.
Right.
Those are hard days, man. I'm sorry that happened.
You know, I'm starting to find myself kind of being pulled between two channels. the more that I do the outdoor channel, the more I feel pulled to it.
Yes.
I'm telling you, dude, spiritually, when I do this channel, I feel darkness. I can feel the heaviness. I feel there's a demonic spirit in this whole community, because I can go from filming outdoors, fishing, hunting, surviving, building fires, camping. I love that stuff, catch, clean, cook,
Yes.
what's better than a catch, clean, cook, right? On a beautiful
Nothing.
creek. And then, you jump into this and it's just like mud on your boots. It's heavy.
Yes, yes, and I was, I think I've told Jesse something like that, and I was talking last night with some guys. They had me on their podcast, and man, we started talking. After the cameras turn off, that's the best content. I'm just going to be honest with you, because you
Right.
start talking, you start really talking, and it's like we mentioned the same thing. It's like I really, you know, I get more views out of the Sasquatch Awareness Project, but my love is going out and be like, look at this cool knife, look at this cool this catch, clean, and cook thing, and making a deer roast. Like, I love that way more. Just being honest, way more than I do the cryptid stuff, just because of that heaviness.
Right.
And it's, I'm not saying it's not okay to talk about the cryptid stuff, but like it's important. We need to.
Right.
This stuff is important, but I think that we don't need to get so sucked in so deep that that's all we do, and we just stay in it to where, like you said, it's just mud on your boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agree.
It's just, I enjoy doing it to bring, hopefully some understanding to people. And maybe if I'm not even giving them answers, maybe I'm at least giving them somebody else that's going through the same thing or has went through the same thing.
Absolutely.
But as far as enjoyment, I used to really enjoy doing the cryptids. I really did, until the darkness came. And it was like the more you learn, the more you share, the more you find out, the more people try to prove you wrong. And and it's not even about, you're not attacking anybody, you're just presenting evidence, you're showing pure evidence. But
Yep.
people want their narrative, and they don't want the truth, they want their narrative.
That's
And
exactly right.
you're like, how do I deliver the truth whenever there are so many people out there that would rather give people the entertainment part of it? And see, I'm not here for the entertainment part. I mean, yeah, there is an entertainment aspect to it,
Of course.
but I want to know, dude. I want to know. That's why I'm there. I want to know. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. I understand. That's what drove Dad. That's the finding the answers. And I think when he found the answers, it kind of took the wind out of the sails a little bit. And I think that's okay, because it's like, hey, I achieved the answer. Now it became, the Sasquatch Awareness Project is being there for folks who have had encounters, and raising awareness for those that have had things happen that they can't explain. It's like, oh, that's what happened to me. I'm not crazy. There are other people that have had this, and they're still moving on with life, and so can I.
Right.
It's there to be a help thing, not it went from research to help. is
Right.
where Dad's channel moved to.
I guess, once you become a knower, then you're not really looking for what's there. You already know. So you're trying to help people understand what it is. Like the other night, I had something happen I never had happen before. I had my first, I don't know what you would call it, UAP, UFO,
Yes.
fallen angel. I don't know what it was. I was out there and I was walking around. It was a pretty quiet night, really. I mean, it wasn't like a busy night. And all of a sudden in the sky, 3 bright lights move in and they just stopped. They didn't move no more. They were just like sitting there watching me. And I made the mistake of, I put my flashlight under my arm to do something else. And I poked the button on my flashlight and it went to strobe. And I started strobing the sky. And one of them ended up shooting right over the top of me. And it was a bright yellow light that went over the trees and then disappeared. And then soon as it done that, I start getting weird whoops. And I was like, that has never happened.
Hold on one second. I can't hear you. I just
Okay.
lost. That's so frustrating.
And I couldn't even show you all, could I, Jesse? Because it
No.
cut my stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Would
I was going
would
to
you
go
like
back.
to sit over here?
Sorry,
I
I'm
was going
back.
to go back and screen record that for you and show you because I don't think you actually saw it. Yeah, it was just so weird.
I tried to film it for everybody as it came over me, and as it started to come over me, it got a really bright yellow light, and my stream was cut whenever I started filming it.
Dude,
I guess
that's wild, man.
it was weird. Everybody was like, "We couldn't see it. We couldn't see it. Your stream was cut."
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know.
That's weird, man. And I've had Dad said he would be out on these just random walks and he'd have the UAPs start messing with him, and he got really annoyed with it. He started getting annoyed with it, kind of like
Right.
what you did. It's like, I'm sitting, yes, you're on a live and all that, but you know how you're filming for your outdoor channel. It's like, man, and I think that shows a lot of growth in you and a lot of, because in the past you would be like, oh man, I gotta go check out that whoop. I gotta go check that out. And now you're like, not today, guys. I'm good.
Right.
I think that is like a ton of growth.
Well, dude, I have a second fear, and me and Jesse brought this up to me probably 2 or 3 days ago.
What did I do?
Well, it was something I'd never thought about, and I got to thinking about it and looking back, and she said, ever since the human aspect has came into my shows and the threats of violence against me and stuff, she said, your shows are just not the same. I don't want to me, it's different to push if I think it's somebody than to push if I think it's a cryptid.
Right.
I don't want to hurt nobody. That's the last thing I ever want to do. But I don't want to be put in a situation to where I have to defend myself because I won't second guess it.
Right.
That's just how I was taught. And, if I can leave somewhere and nobody gets hurt, I'm going to call it and I'm going to leave every time because it's just not worth it.
Absolutely.
But it also makes it hard because you don't know what you're dealing with. You're like, what am I dealing with? But we're going to be moving to some new locations further out. They don't know where it's at, so it's not going to be not much more of a problem. I don't suspect, anyways. But
if you can find someplace away from people, that's the best place.
I think I made a friend though, an unwanted friend.
Oh boy. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I found this whale, right? And I thought one night when I walked over to the well that there was somebody standing there with a black hoodie on, right? And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's somebody standing there with a black hoodie on. So I just turned around and started to leave, okay, there's somebody there, I'm going to leave. As I'm walking out, it starts dawning on me because I start thinking, it starts clicking. I'm like, that was too tall to be somebody.
Yep.
That was too big to be somebody. And ever since then, on a few of my other lives, some people have caught that same figure in my videos. So I don't know what's going on with that.
That's an interesting thing. The tall black hoodie. That I've heard that multiple times from multiple. Hmm.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm breaking up.
Yeah.
Am I? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can do. Hold on one second. All right. How am I now?
Good so
Sound
far.
good. Good so far.
Okay.
And
So
Infinite 7 wants to know, what is the cryptid you fear the most?
the cryptid I fear the most. I fear them all, but I'd probably have to say, Bigfoot didn't scare Dad. Dogmen did. So I'd probably have to kind of be in that camp as like, Dogmen would be something that really, really I would be definitely scared of if I saw face to face. I mean, that's the one because Bigfoot, Bigfoot, you look in its face, and so many people have said, they've had guns with them, and it's like, why didn't you shoot it? Why didn't you take it down? And they'll tell you, it's like, I didn't know if it wasn't human, and that's what really freaks them out. If I saw a dog, man, it's like, well, that thing's dying. That's
Right.
it's crazy. I mean, that would be something that it would just absolutely haunt me if I genuinely saw it.
That's so interesting you say that because, again, the things that you say relate to my family because when we was growing up, Granny, when all that was happening, we would be afraid. And
Mm-hmm.
she would always tell us, don't worry about the Bigfoot. As long as you leave him alone, he'll pretty much leave you alone. She said, now he's going to be like nosy, curious, and he might throw some rocks at you or some sticks. But if you ignore him, she'd always say, he's not probably going to hurt you. But then she would turn right around with that serious look and say, but those
Mm-hmm.
other ones will.
Those other ones will.
Right.
That's really really wild and interesting. So I was reading, man, that's really really interesting. The way she said it, those other ones will. And
Yes.
she's not classifying like the dog. She's everything else up there. That's so wild,
Well,
man.
they had seen so many different things at
Yeah.
my mom's, at my mom's house, my granny's. They had seen, a man float through the pasture. They had seen something that didn't have a lower jaw. They saw a werewolf looking thing. The dog, it comes dragging something up one day. They don't know what it was. And it drops whatever it's carrying at the propane tank, and it caught on fire and burnt into nothing. There was so
That's
many different
wild. Ooh.
things. What'd that look like, Mom? The thing the dog was carrying? Kind of like a ham or something.
That is just, man, that's wild. And I don't know, I don't have any other word to say because it blows my mind. Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh my goodness. But I I was talking to Tony Merkel, and we were talking about, the paranormal, and he said, Travis, I'm calling it supernatural now. And I said, okay, what's the reason? He said, we live in what we call the natural world, but he's like, I think that stuff is more natural than maybe we are. So he's like, I've been using the word supernatural stuff rather than just paranormal, because he says like that stuff may be the normal and we just don't know about it. That may be the thing. I don't know, but I'm kind of right there with you. It's like maybe just the supernatural stuff that that stuff may be going on, and we just don't know about it.
It's so weird that, I saw something down there, dude. I don't know what it was. I was telling Jesse about it, and it had a long nose that was like swinging off of its face. I don't know what it was.
Those I think those are called Darrows. Dad had talked about that. I don't have the book right with me, but Dad had captured one, and it has this like long elephant looking nose, and that's what he believes that they were.
Okay.
And he saw a Darrow, I believe he called it. I don't know how it's spelled, but like Darro, I assume. But it had that long nose, but it had it's like an elephant like looking nose, like just a long daggum nose. And
Yeah.
he had one coming out of a portal, or manifesting in a portal. It was really, really interesting.
I don't know if this has anything to do with it, and I thought about this the other day, where all this stuff is happening down where I go. There's a lot of wells, because before they moved that town, before they flooded it, everybody had a well.
Yes.
Now, this place that I'm going to now, right? Really bad place, EVP spirits, a lot of good calls. There's a well.
I believe it. So
what,
there's something about those wells, because exactly where Dad had that dogman experience, there's a well. I mean, granted, this is a peninsula, but that's an old home place on the end of this peninsula, and there's a well there. And even again, Les Stroud even talked about that well is creepy.
Dude, that is an old home place I'm at too, with the well.
Yep. There's something about these old home places, man. There really is. Where it's got, and for those who do and research and go look to find an old home place in the woods, go find, like you said, these wells, or look for a place with some ivy, some random ivy places in the woods, where it's got the kudzu or whatnot.
It's all around this well.
That's where you usually will find, these wells, these old home places, or you'll see those daisies in the springtime. They'll pop up, and it's usually because that's where the grandma's garden was, and because those daisies will still pop up year after year. You ever see them where it's like they're out in random places?
Absolutely.
Like that used to be,
like the little daisies?
Yeah, well, I say daisies, but tulips. That I'm using the wrong word. But those yellow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you ever see them randomly out in the woods, but they're in these big patches? There it is. That's where it used to be.
Easter lilies.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a matter of fact down there. Like what you're saying, at the old home places down there. When you go down there, at almost the corner of all the roads, there was a house that was on the corner. There's almost always flowers that will bloom right there at those corners, where they would plant their flowers.
Yep, that's exactly right. They'll take away the home place, it'll go and it'll rot away. But those bulbs and those blooms, they're perennials, so they'll just keep coming back year after year after year. It's a good little tip if you like to do that stuff. But yeah.
There was a guy that came to me and said that his dad, and he gave me the location of the home where the home used to be. His dad used to live there, and he said his dad got so afraid of whatever was coming up to his house. His dad left, and he left everything. He said, Dad grabbed what Dad wanted, and the rest of it, Dad was just like, I don't want it. And I kind of wondered if it was true or not. He told me where it was at. So I went down and I walked down there and I found where the old home place was.
Mm-hmm.
And there was broken plates. There was silverware. You could tell that somebody had just left all this stuff. But back in the back, there's the old well, and
Yes.
I've just now started putting these wells together, and I'm like, everywhere I go, there's a well. Like Randy,
There's
you know how Randy talks about the werewolves?
Yeah. Randy does. Yeah.
They're at his
Were they
well.
all around? That's interesting. There's got to be some connection with. There's got to be some connection with that of some sort. I don't 100% know, but there's got to be some connection with it.
Those wells
But
are down into the water table, right?
that's the assumption. That's the assumption. Yes, is they're definitely down in the water table if they're not dried up, or how people just will put dirt in them and trash them up. But I still assume, yeah, it still has some connection to the water table.
Oh, this well that I found, the one that I'm at right now, dude, it's still clean. It's still got water in it. It's still, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to, I'll go down, take some photos for you and send them to you.
What do you think? Because with all these portals and with all these cryptids and stuff, and I know we're totally getting off into the weeds here. We're not even talking about the book because I just like talking to you guys. Like, there's always that water and that water and that stone connection of some sort. Like, there's always, it seems like a water connection. Is there something I'm missing here? I mean, maybe people in the chat can kind of help us out here, but there's always seems to be that connection.
Well, we all come into the world through the water.
We do. We do.
Our life begins in the water.
Right. I have a question for you. So it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was that form of word. But it basically goes through that. But then it says, the Spirit of God hovered over the waters, almost as if when he says he created the heavens and the earth, it was like automatically water first. Like it's almost water was there, like that everybody assumed that like creating the heavens, like water was almost already created first. It's an interesting topic because he separated the waters from the waters. And I'm like, well,
right.
What's that mean?
Right. Wow.
But
yeah.
It was almost like water was.
Wow.
I don't know. Like it's just. I don't know. It's just I've always thought about that. It's like, what if the universe is more water than anything else, and we're just this little pocket of air? Now that's me just really thinking out in the crazy zone.
Well, if you look at the stars and stuff at night, they kind of look like you're looking at something through water. The way they're blurry.
They look like a light through water.
Huh. That's interesting.
I'm not saying anything about cosmology. I'm not. Let me make that very clear. This is not.
But yeah,
let me make that very clear. But I don't know, man. I've always wondered stuff like that.
Because that leads to, and I know I've heard it several times too, and I think you said it, that there was no actual rain before the floods. And I had always questioned why had they never seen a rainbow before when God put the rainbow in the sky. But that would also make sense because if there was no clouds in the sky, there was no moisture in the sky, there would have never been a rainbow ever seen before by the human eye. So that goes back into where it is the separation of the waters. It had to have been above the firmament and below.
Yep. Yeah, and below, and who knows fully what that means. Mm-hmm. Like we all think we do. We all have theories, but we really don't know what that means. There are some people that think that firmament is way out there. There's some people that think the firmament was you know an ice thing. Some people believe the firmament is a dome that we're all in still right now. Who knows? Who knows?
Mhm.
The Hunger
So
Games.
that's right. That's right. The Hunger Games.
Uh,
Who? Oh man. Who?
so
Who knows?
let's talk about your chapter 10, man. I know that
Yeah, man.
you covered it, and that
So
it's amazing.
so for people that don't know, we're reading The Truth Denied. We're on chapter 10, and man, this is a long, very in-depth chapter. I'm reading it in 10-minute segments. And what this chapter is it's the Sasquatch Genome Project results. So we Dad goes through, and Dad kind of does this a little bit at nauseum. He really tells you who the people were. Like, so you could pick up this and kind of, start, you could almost read each chapter as its own little book. But he tells you who did this, all the 13 laboratories that that actually participated in the DNA study. And I'll just kind of go through a few for your viewers and listeners. Um, a big misconception is that this study was done by Dr. Melba Ketchum and DNA Diagnostics. But there was actually DNA testing done by tons of labs, and 13 to be exact. I'll go through this for you guys. North Louisiana Criminalistics Laboratory, DNA Diagnostics, Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences, Family Tree DNA in Houston, Texas, Secrite in Houston, Texas, Helix Biological Laboratory, Department of Biological Service of Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan, USC Los Angeles in California, University of Texas at Arlington, UNT Center for Human Identification, University of North Texas Health Science Center, Fort Worth, Texas, Texas A&M University, College Station, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Texas Veterinary Medical Diagnostics Laboratory at Texas A&M and College Station, and Hughley Pathology Consultants in Fort Worth, Texas. So there was not just one, there was 13 different laboratories that did multiple different things. They, Dad goes through again how they screened, how it was processed, what samples it was. We also go through in this, how they actually, what a DNA sample looks like how they figured it out. So a DNA test or a PCR test, we're all very familiar with PCR tests now, but back then it was very expensive. But a PCR test is basically, think if they have a clear picture that they're looking through, almost a transparency, and you have a transparency of a human. And if you lay the DNA on top, you have the same transparency. So, if you had a transparency of my hand, and then you laid another transparency of my hand, and the more transparencies you get, the clearer the picture gets. So that's how you'd see it. It's like, hey, that's human. If you have the transparency and it doesn't line up, the DNA doesn't, all these little matching, DNA ladders don't line up, then it's like, hey, this isn't human. They did multiples of that. They did multiple things, and it's pretty wild that the DNA, what the DNA showed and what the DNA didn't show. It's insanely wild. But like I said, this wasn't just done in someone's basement, as people say. Very, very, very interesting stuff. Dad goes over that. Dad goes over the difference between a human hair and a Sasquatch hair. See, a lot of people are like, okay, why in the world did you all test human hair? Well, they didn't test human hair. The big part of is non-human hair yielded mitochondrial or human mitochondrial DNA. A good example of that is that picture right there, where you have a human hair on the top and then a non-human hair at the bottom. that's a Sasquatch hair if you can see it. Definitely completely different types of hairs. And what they found is like, this non-human hair keeps yielding this human mitochondrial DNA. So that was their first clue that Bigfoot's a human hybrid, for one. And then number two, I mean, it had all these different what's known as haplop groups. Haplop groups, it's a little complicated, but these haplop groups, they can tell you where the mother's DNA is located. So I was reading this. I'm going to let you in on this today. There was the majority of the haplop types show origination from Europe, Asia, Middle East, and Africa. Only 4 of the haplop types originated close to where the samples were collected in North America. Let me let that sink in. Let me kind of define that. The haplops that they got didn't say that they were from North America. They said that they were from Europe, Asia, Middle East, and Africa. How does that sit with you guys?
It makes me think that the continents were all together at one time.
It's an interesting thought.
That, but
If they were, it was the Pangea prior to that. And you can even see that in the split. I mean, you could see how the continents would all fit together at one point and split up. So, I mean, that makes sense. But that would have been a long, I mean,
long time
yeah.
ago. And these haplop, that's where they're coming from. That's where this genetics leads back to, is those. It has, and again, we're talking about the mitochondrial DNA. So we're talking actually about the Sasquatch being a human hybrid. The human part of it, that's where that's from. It actually broke it down into several different North American, or there was some North American tribes, by the way, that were found in there. Again, I said most, but the 4 haplops originated close to samples were collected in North America. Check this out. The North American haplop types represented the following Native American tribes. Hold on to your hats for this one. The haplop type A6L2C is the Inuit and the Nivik peoples. The haplop type C were the Eviks and the Yuktuks people. Haplop type D were the Aleuts people. And then that was the North American ones. And they were all the Native American tribes. So when someone says that, hey, this Bigfoot, this Sasquatch really looks Native American, that's what the DNA shows too.
So would that be that? Do you think whenever the angels would have fell, as they talk about, and it took, wives, would the reason be that we get so many different ones is because they took women from each culture?
Yes, they took women. I believe. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes, I believe there's women from each culture, but I also believe that the Bigfoot are descendants of the Nephilim. So I think that there's still a lot of interbreeding, but then there's a lot of breeding with actual human women. I still believe, when you talk about these missing 411s or these things that you hear that of Bigfoot showing themselves to ladies, I think there is a intimacy component to it that can't be ignored.
Man,
because the rest. Go ahead.
Oh, you're just blowing my mind because, yeah, I agree 100% because, see, I got a little bit of a little flack because I came out. Oh, it's been a little bit, and I made and this was back even before I think Jesse might have been new or coming on. I had come up with this theory after studying and investigating the Nephilim, the connection, the fallen angels and everything, it made
Mm-hmm.
more sense to me that what we're dealing with out there would be more, and I'm probably going to tear this word up. I'll probably pronounce it wrong, but the Eliod makes more sense. It's the descendant bloodline of the Nephilim. I don't believe we're dealing with the Nephilim. I believe we're dealing with the descendants of the Nephilim.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes.
kind of like, I believe that the reptilian people that people say they see walking around, I don't necessarily believe they're reptilians. I believe they are Eliods. They are the same thing, dude, but they are a watered down version of the original. But I mean, they still have the attributes. They still have the fallen angel abilities. These creatures are. Why did they get rid of the bells at the churches, right?
Yes.
And whenever you go into, because I didn't know as a child, and if you think about it, growing up, it all pretty much happened at the same time. All the churches started pulling their bells out, and it all went electronic. And I was like, didn't think nothing about it growing up. You just think, oh well, it's it's modern technology, right? We don't need the old bells no more, because when I was a kid, we all got to pick who got to ring the bell, for church, who got to ring the bell. And, it was always an honor to do that. But when you go back and you look, those bells emit a frequency that makes it hard for spirits to hang on to people, to possess people. The, you know where I'm going, right?
Yeah, I do. I've always, my biggest thing, and I want to start a series where we talk about, like, the truths hidden in plain sight, like
Oh,
in
yeah.
popular culture. So what, I'm a big Marvel and Spider-Man and all that. Well, remember Venom? What was Venom's weakness? Bells.
Yeah.
Like it freaked him out. He couldn't handle it. Like it
Mm-hmm.
would just absolutely just basically melt him off. I
I
think
forgot.
there's I think there's something to it. There has to
Mm-hmm.
be.
It would be pretty cool to go back and even and look at the compare. Did cities have as much supernatural encrypted encounters when churches rang real bells until where the bells were removed? Did more come in when the bells were removed?
Maybe honestly, maybe so.
You know?
They're definitely so. Oh, also, for all those watching the, no spoilers, by the way, for the what am I trying to say? The Netflix show, Stranger Things. But again, no spoilers, but how they control these psychic abilities is through the sound waves, through the infrasound, and through all that. What again? You start ringing those bells. Did it not do the same thing?
I believe so. I
And
mean,
uh,
yeah.
there's something to music. There's something to vibration. I believe that.
And Satan
Um,
had musical instruments placed in him, which you're talking sound, vibration. And
mhm.
if these beings are able to do what Satan done, if that's one of the attributes they have is the vocal cords to be able to produce
Yep.
these vibrations, then are they also opening portals and gateways with these vibrations also?
I believe so. I believe so. I'm fully on board with they have some sort, depending on how much unknown nuclear DNA they have, on how much angelic DNA they have. Uh, the it it makes them, or it is able to um, give them certain abilities that others may not. And I believe that they have some of that angelic being powers. So everything that's just described of angels in the Bible, they can have some sort of powers like that. Opening portals, walking through walls, being able to go in and out, being able to speak and things happen, things of that nature. I believe that again, it just depends on how much angelic DNA they have.
So here,
Um,
so here's a wild theory for you. So,
yep.
you're saying how much angelic DNA they have. So what if the Bigfoot, the werewolves, the other animalistic looking creatures we see in the woods, right?
Hmm.
What if those are the products of the bestiality with the angels? And then the ones that are in our government that walk around as shapeshifters, what if those are the ones that were done with the humans that are more human than animal? So you actually have two sets of, you have the the animals that were bestiality that was corrupted the DNA, and then you have the human part. The human part you would think naturally would be smarter, more like us, to where the
Hmm.
animals would be that animal hybrid mix. So, man, that's almost scary.
Uh, yeah, I definitely could be. I think that's a really, really good theory. Um, like the shapeshifters is always something that always had grasped my attention. Because what I mean, we knew Satan could shapeshift. We do know that.
Right.
Because he came in the form of a serpent. He can come in that form. So because it kind of alludes to him being able to shapeshift.
Disguises
And
himself as light.
yep, disguises itself as an angel of light. And it's like, if angels can do that, and I believe they can shapeshift and do all that. Then it's like, mm. And like,
Yeah,
cannot their offspring do the same thing? So
I would think so. I mean, the Bible even
that
says,
only makes sense.
you could
Yeah.
be entertaining an angel unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
So
It only makes sense.
yeah, I mean that pretty much is saying that they can look like us, because if we wouldn't know we was entertaining an angel, we would think it was another person.
Well, that's
Yep.
like the angels that went into Sodom and Gomorrah to look for anyone that still had God in their hearts. They went in as humans or looking like
Yep.
humans.
Looking like humans, and
Although
we
something
all
was a
we
giveaway because obviously, I mean, they were called out right away. So kind of makes you
well they were
wonder
called
what was.
well they were called out. They weren't called out for being angels. They were called out for being attractive.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
that's what wanted to happen. Is unfortunately, it, that's how every uh, every feller wanted to come in and say hi to him.
So they were a little too good at looking like humans.
If you read again, we're
Yeah.
reading our
Yeah.
Bibles,
I
we're reading
remember.
Scripture. It's
They
that.
kind of, like,
And
man,
Lot even offered his daughter,
His daughters.
and
Hmm.
they said nope. We want the two fellers you got.
right? I mean that even goes back to Greek mythology, man. The you know the sexual part of it, the how
Yes,
beautiful they were, and
and
Well, and
that's exactly right. Yes, go ahead,
some,
Jesse.
yeah, in Greek mythology even too, they some of them would come down and take the form of the spouses and would
Have
trick.
fun.
Yep,
Yep.
only to find out afterwards.
That it wasn't. And
Hmm.
that's such an interesting thing. Is like, okay, like the Roman the Roman gods and whatnot, and the Greek gods, they all talk about the sexual deviancy of these gods, and how like they're not necessarily obsessed with it, but it usually just seems to be so much. They they can't just stay with one another. They got to go over here and do this, or go over here and do this. And it's always these gods mating with humans and messing around with that, and
Hmm.
having, half breeds and half sons and this and that. It's always
Hercules.
fascinating. Yes, it's always fascinating to me. It's always fascinating to me.
Well, and those stories go into even in like Norse mythology as well. It's the
Yes.
same stories. The gods coming down and taking different forms and different shapes and even looking like their spouses. So it's all across all different cultures, the same stories.
Right.
And it's the corruption of the DNA and the corruption of humans.
I agree. I think it is. It's the corruption of DNA and the corruption of humans, and and I'll be getting into on later readings like the more again the science part of it, and it's still, even though that I'm reading it, it's still way over my head because it's like,
Oh, mine too.
if you like I'm trying to explain what a haplock group is, and I have a very narrow grasp of what in the world it even is. But what I can again, what I just try to reiterate and tell people is, man, that this stuff, that basically you have, you know, human mother or mitochondrial DNA, or the human mother and an unknown father is what happened with this. And we're talking, 111 samples were tested. I mean, it's not it wasn't just a few. um a lot. I told you guys, and that not only were some of these samples collected were from dad's research area. um they were collected in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, but man, they were also collected, at his home. So that's the scary part, is that these things will follow you home, and people need to be careful with that. You and I have talked about it, and we've hammered it and hammered it and hammered it. You know, I these things can follow you home, and we have scientific evidence to prove as such.
Oh, I noticed in your dad's videos, when he was doing his walks, he would be talking and he would be really, really deep into his subject. And I'm like, I'm just like listening and listening. And then all of a sudden your dad will,
Yep,
you know,
man, he did that all the time, and he'd be like, "There's one over there." I'm like, "What are you talking about, Dad? I'm literally looking there, and there's nothing there." He's like, "It's right there." And he had that he had that sixth sense where he just knew, whatever connection that he had with, whatever. I think when they zap you or when they do something to you, the problem is it opens up that door, opens up that connection. That connection goes both ways. So whatever happened is when they knew where he was, but he also knew where they were too. It was very, very interesting.
so what was your dad's first interaction with the cryptid? Do you remember like what?
I I think his first like actual interaction, like actual face to face encounter, I think he said he saw what he described to be as a female one. And it was on the pipeline that he would walk, um in his research area. And this pipeline is, basically like just this major gas pipeline. And it was cut to where you could walk, and then the sides would grow up. They would always,
Right.
and the side, and that was the freaky part, was it? And I assume the sides were up to the waist or whatnot, because he said, basically she kind of peeked up a little bit over that grass, and you could just see her. And he said, and he kept calling it a her. He's like, you could see her face. It was half, and he said hi to her, and she didn't say nothing, you know. And then something happened. He looked back, and they both looked and looked back. And he said, Travis, she jumped and ran across this pipeline. And he said, she ran so fast that it looked cartoonish, like not real. Like it was like so fast, like
Right.
he said it was insane. But I think that was his first like actual face to face encounter with it. And it seemed to be a female.
You're not going to believe this. The
But go
reason
ahead.
you caught me off guard again, dude, I'm walking a gas pipeline too where I'm at.
Yeah, that's really interesting. There's got to be something there, man. There's
It,
got to be connections with that.
you know, you look at like you look at the wells and the pipelines, and as a hunter, you're a hunter.
Hmm.
What the first thing that pops into my mind is they're taking the trail that's easier to travel. You
Yep.
have water to drink.
Hmm.
Where there's water, there's food because other animals come to drink.
Right.
Uh, Waterways most generally will lead to populous areas. Uh, Roadways, bridges, ways out. So are they following it? It makes you wonder, are they following it for that reason? Or are they following it because they know they can get these interactions with us to where opportunity arises, like 411, people go missing in the woods and they're never found? Is it a hunting trail for them? Is our trails that we make in the woods, is that to them, is that a game trail?
Man, that's the scary part. Is it a game trail? Is it like
Yeah,
that? That that would be scary. Ugh, that's scary to even think about. I don't have a good answer for you. I think could be a little bit of both. Like it genuinely could be a little bit of both. I think that um I think it's real. I mean, I think it's man, it's easy to travel. It's easy to get down. It's already made for you. And these pipeline trails, they're usually out in the wilderness, and you just walk down this trail, boop, you can pop to the left and you're in woods.
right.
You don't have to worry about anything. And mostly, that's where all your game animals are, so you can eat, you can sustain yourself, and that may be it. That may be it. I think that's it more than anything else, than more nefarious. But it is a it does create nefarious opportunities as well. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Gives a
But
whole new meaning to the hunted, huh?
the hunted, yeah, that's right, man. So I'll tell you the story. I think I've told it before, uh, but you know, on that pipeline, I remember being caught out. One of my first little hunting trips that I took before I was successful. That pipeline, I walked all the way down it, and it's about a mile and a half, 2 mile pipeline. So I'm out there on the edge of this pipeline, and because out there there's farmers fields and that TWRA leases, and there is just these big cornfields and big fields, and of course the deer will eat them. Will eat at it at sunset. Well, I see this doe out in the field, and I'm like, man, how do I creep up and get a shot? All that stuff, and of course I don't. I'm an idiot. I scare it off. I do all that, and I'm like, dang it, and I didn't get a shot. Well, then I'm like, oh man, it's 5:30. It's zero dark 30, and I've got like 2 miles to hike. And again, I was such a new hunter, such a new to this, and I start hiking. I'm like, not realizing that 2-3 miles in is like an hour and a half, 2 hour walk. And I mean, it gets pitch black, and I'm walking down this pipeline, and I'm flipping out.
Yeah.
All I've got is I've got a little pin light, and I'm just
Oh no.
You talk about flipping out. I called Dad. I'm like, Dad, you're going to talk me out of this. Like, and he walked me out. He talked me out of it. And he was all calm and stuff like that. And then he tells me how he doesn't ever go in there at night, and he freaks him out. And then I hear Les Stroud walking down that pipeline and being, mind spoke to. And I'm like, you didn't tell me that. He's like, of course I'm not going to tell you that right then. It's like, I'm going to tell you everything's fine. Just come and walk on out.
Yeah, you sure don't want to hear Son, you're in a really bad predicament right
yeah,
now.
yeah, son, you're not doing. Yeah, you're not good, buddy. Yeah,
Do
you'll
you,
be fine.
I need
Oh
you to listen
gosh,
to me very carefully. Turn on your locator beacon and swallow it.
no, swallow it. Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah, don't. Yeah, that would not be the thing to say, man. I'll tell you what. I pray. I will say this though. I prayed for an hour walking out of there. I was like, I kept saying, "Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world," and I said that for an hour as I
Yeah.
walked out of that. Like I was very scared. I was
Hey,
very, very scared.
I've done that, man. I've went out hunting with the guys, and one guy would drive the truck and he would drop everybody out and then he would go to his spot, right? And
Hmm.
I'm sitting out in the middle of the woods at this tree in the dark and I'm hearing stuff walking all around me and you start saying, this really ain't very smart, I just let this
Nope.
guy drop me off in the middle of nowhere. I just walked about 500 yards into a dark woods and I'm just sitting here waiting for the sun to rise.
Yeah, you
And
start thinking about it. It's like
yeah,
this is some predicament I've got myself in.
and we didn't have radios, dude. Because back then, we didn't have radios. We didn't have cell phones. We were just, 3 shots in the air if you need help.
Yep.
And then my mind always goes to the dark. I'm like, what if I can't get 3 shots off? What if it, it attacks me and I can't call for help, Because
Shoot.
people go missing and people, fact is and reality is people that deer hunt go missing and sometimes
All the time.
they're never found.
And that's the truth all the time. Um, you know, I highly recommend, telling, Dad always would be like, hey, I'm going out hiking here at this date at this trail. I recommend that. I recommend telling people where you're going, uh, turning your location on, obviously on your phone, but then having those. There's even those better, those little Garmin GPSs. Like I can't remember. Dave Canterbury's been real big on those, and I need to get on them too. But those little locator stuff, yes.
That
What
right
is that?
there, this right here, it's old. My son bought it for me, Hunter, a long time ago. It's actually a Bushnell. It's called a backtrack GPS. This
Hmm.
thing, dude, works great and it's cheap, but it will get you back to where you came from. I have used it many, many times and it
Nice.
works. It works right to the foot. I mean,
That's
it,
so cool, man.
yeah, it doesn't show you terrain. It doesn't show you any of that, but what it does show you is how far you have left from the where you set it at, and it will show you with an arrow which way to get back to that point, how far away you are, and how many feet you are from it, or miles, until you reach zero again, and it will take you right to ground zero. I love it.
That's really great. That's a cool tool. I'm talking about something to like let other people know where you're at, like an emergency thing to where that will work in the backcountry where you press it,
Oh,
and people like, hey, it gives like a little emergency stuff. And I can't think of the. And forgive me, my brain's about fried. I got to go to bed here in a little bit, and I'm so sorry. But there's something that you can do, and it immediately will send out to a people, and they'll go get you. And it's super super cool, and I definitely recommend something like that, and I need to get something like that myself.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think the Outdoor Boys had one.
I
Their
I
dad,
think they did.
and it was a beacon, and he could text his wife from it. You could text, and it was
Hmm.
a location device.
Like if you got hurt or messed up
You,
or anything like that. That's
you know the rumor behind why he quit, right?
yes. I think you're the one that told me that was those. He was in one of those shelters in Alaska, and then those wolves or whatever started like laughing at him or something
Yeah,
like that.
and they were saying his son's name, and
Oh, that's wild.
Some people say, what was it, a puckwudgie or something like that?
I think I've heard that. That's
But
what's up.
he won't talk
He
about
won't
it.
come out.
Mm-mm.
That's really really interesting. Miss
Makes me
Jessie,
wonder.
do we want to take any questions? And I apologize for not being so lively tonight.
Oh,
I am this 10:30 this old man stuff's hitting me hard.
you're
Like it's
not that
past
old
Papa's
yet.
bedtime yet.
Wait till you get up around my age, dude. Yeah,
25. What are you talking about? No, I'm just kidding.
29,
Yeah, 29.
and
That's right.
and Holden.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions for Travis, put them in capital letters, guys, and we will get them up for him. We're gonna have to have
Absolutely.
you back on after Christmas, dude, on our other channel. And I
Yeah,
want to.
I really want to.
I do too, because I want to ask you some questions about some survival knives. I got some questions,
Ooh, yeah.
and
You know,
I got some questions about ferro rods too, and stuff like that I want to ask you.
absolutely. While we're talking about that, we're waiting on to get a question. This new company that I've been like kind of partnering with. It's an Amazon company. You know, it's Chinese made, but they have a place. The importer of it. It's called Good Star, and they're out of Huntersville, North Carolina. But they have one of their little things that they do is these little fleece knives.
Uh-huh.
Dude, they have been rock solid for $20 and under.
Oh
Like
wow!
here's a little knife. Here's a little knife they sent me. It's made out of D2 steel. But you know how I talk about my perfect bushcraft knife? Knife is, full tang, 9-degree spine. It's, just full flat ground. Dude, look at this. $20.
Wow, that's nice too.
Dude, I mean, bolted on handles, micarta, all that stuff. The only thing is it's made out of D2 steel rather than 1095, but D2 steel is still pretty high carbon. It's just stainless steel rather than a high carbon steel, but it's still sharp. I mean, it's comes with a little leather sheath. I mean, what do you want? You know?
Right.
So
That's
I geek out about this stuff. So I got to review this, but they sent that to me, and I'm insanely impressed.
so. If you was out while we're waiting on a question, I got one for. We got a question here. If you're out and you had to pick one knife to go, say, a week in the woods with, would you pick a survival knife or a bushcraft knife?
That depends on what you define as either or, and I'll definitely get to the question that just popped up here in just a second. I think like the question is what do you define as a survival knife and what do you define as a bushcraft knife? I define a bushcraft knife for me is a bushcraft knife can be this small little open L knife, this small little jackknife or whatnot, because I can bushcraft with this just fine.
Right.
But for me, a survival knife has to be a characteristic. It has to have a couple things. Has to be full tang. I need to be able to beat and baton with it. It has to have, and when I mean full tang, it's basically one big piece of metal, and the handles are bolted on.
Right.
For me, it has to be a knife that is it like a fully like a straight blade. It's not going to be a serrated edge knife. This is going to be a knife where I can cut, I can do woodworking with it, all that stuff. I believe it has to have a sharp 90-degree spine that I can throw sparks off a ferro rod with it, and I can process other materials with it. And it just has to be a good, tough knife. For me, this is a survival knife. People would say a one-tool option. I would hope to God never to only have only one tool, but if I had to, I could. Right. Something like this would be my survival knife, but I can use a survival knife for bush crafting and use it as my bushcraft knife. But I wouldn't want my bushcraft knife like, let's say, my little open L that I could do bushcraft stuff to be my survival knife. Does that make any sense at all?
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
So what about a Bowie knife? Do you like Bowie knives, or do they serve a
I'm
purpose?
not. Bowie knives are super cool. I'm not a huge fan, but they're cool. They have a lot of history for being a great fighting knife, but also for being a knife that kind of like a butcher style, like people would use to cut up meat and all that. And honestly, that's historically what big belt knives are used for. They weren't used for wood processing; they're used for
Right.
cutting meat. That's what those Bowie knives were for: defense and cutting meat, not for beating up wood. That's what axes were for. That's what froze were for, not knives. Historically,
Right.
now today's part, we just use a knife. We go beat through wood with our knives all the time. But historically, that's not what they were used for. To answer that question, it says, Travis, does anything bother around your home? Right now, I'm in an apartment, so I don't have any issues at the moment, but I also don't invite them in. I don't go seeking these creatures out. I don't go seeking the supernatural out. But if I did, here's what I would do, and here's what I've been told to do. I go around the four corners of the apartment and pray the blood of Jesus over them, pray them away. I believe that's one of the best ways and best things that you can do if you earnestly pray them away. But I also recommend don't earnestly seek them out in the first place. But to answer your question, no, I'm so blessed I haven't had any issues with that, and pray to God I never do.
And buy your kids a dog.
Yep, and buy your and we have a dog, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a dog and all that, so absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, we could talk all night. I know you got to work tomorrow. This is a weeknight, dude. We're thankful that you came on tonight and gave us your time, but we're gonna have to get you back on the other channel because I got a lot of questions. Because on my outdoor channel, I'm wanting to get into maybe going out and doing like 2 and 3 days at a time in the woods and seeing how I
That'd be
could,
fun.
how I could fare. Do you know who Fowler is? You ever watch him?
Yes, yeah, Fowler's Makers and Mischief. Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude, he spent 80 days or 90 days? I can't remember.
It was crazy. Yeah. And he gained weight.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's one of the only dudes to gain weight out there. Dude, man, like that would really kind of suck to be that Jim. I was like, well, I starved myself and gained weight, but the dude can survive.
Oh, he blows my mind.
Can.
I've seen him. He can about do anything, dude. I mean, anything he tries
really
to do,
can.
he can just do it.
I think that we have these, when it comes to survival, when it comes to, surviving, prepping, all that stuff, we think that these big burly guys, the big strong dudes have the big tattoos and all that stuff. We have this image of it in our mind, and most of the time it's guys like, Zachary Fowler, just some regular looking dude that can go out there and absolutely whip everybody's tail because you know what? He's got it mentally. He's happy-go-lucky. He thinks through things. He has a process, all that stuff. And it just goes to show you it's still more up here than physical, That's what
he's almost artistic about the way he does it.
Yes. He is. He definitely is. I love the show alone because it really does show you, and I learned it in that survival class I took. The basic the Pathfinder basic is people can survive 3 how they say, what is it, 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. And he talked about it. It's like you can survive about 3 months without human interaction.
Right.
Past that, you go crazy. And he's like, and if you don't believe me, watch these people on Alone. After 2 weeks, these big burly guys, after being alone, they start crying for their mommies And it's
Right.
just a mental thing. They just go nuts. And I mean, hardcore people that can survive that being lonely, that you need that emotional human connection. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it fascinates me. I love that. I love that stuff because I love the human condition. It's very, very interesting to me.
And people better start learning it the way the world is right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, that's been the thing I've been talking about and struggling with. It's
People,
bro,
yeah.
brother. It's there's stuff coming in my opinion that
Oh,
if it ain't
absolutely.
supernatural, it's financial. Let me just say that.
And you know they make fun of the hillbillies, the backwoods guys, the Kentucky, the Tennessee, the Oklahoma hillbillies. You know what? Those will be the ones that survive it
Yep, yep.
because they know
You're
how to survive.
they
Yeah.
do. You know, if these people that sit behind a desk that do all that stuff, if they think their job is safe because they somehow got this magical HR degree or whatnot, I'm telling you, AI is coming for your job. Like it's not even funny. Like
And later for
Google
your
execs,
soul.
Yeah.
yes. These Google execs have admitted, the have admitted that a like AI is better than a junior lawyer right now. Why would a senior lawyer ever hire them?
Right.
I mean, it's really wild. I could get into that all day long, but
Judge
but
Judge Dredd.
yes, absolutely, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you. Genuinely, it's my pleasure being on here. Sorry about the low energy tonight.
No.
Exhausted, but again, love you guys.
Well, we love
Yeah.
you too, and we got your link up here on the screen for everybody to go
Oh,
check
you
you out,
guys are
join your
great.
channel.
No,
But
you guys are great.
we'll have you back, man, after the first of the year, and we will dive into some of the more stuff you're doing, and we'll also dive into some outdoor stuff. I know we can really get into that for sure.
Absolutely. That's starting to be kind of like you said. That's my jam. I love this stuff. I love the cryptids and the Bigfoot and all that. But you know me, I light up like a Christmas tree when it's like, ooh, look at this sharp thing.
Absolutely, and also, God bless to you and your family. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, man. If we don't
Yeah.
see you,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. God bless y'all. Love y'all. Merry Christmas. All right. I'll
Right.
see y'all. Y'all be good.
all right.
Yep.
Good night.
Take
Love
care.
you, man.
Bye.
Good night. Love you guys. Bye.
Yeah, me and him could go on and on and on and on and on about survival. Let me kick this off so that it's not over your face. See if I can do this real quick.
Well,
There we go. But
I just
yeah,
moved to the side.
too late. But yeah, we could go on and on and on and on over that stuff. Thank you, OCST. Appreciate it. Always appreciate OCST been in here. Check him out also. He's done a lot of things, and I think he's got some things planned coming up also. So go check him out. Uh, Again, so glad to have Travis on. I wanted to do something special in December for all of our people that could make it. Some can't because of, they have traveling and family and stuff coming up. But the ones we could bring on, we wanted to. We may do something like that in January to start the year off, maybe. I know we got D's going to be coming back. We got a special thing we're working on with Black Mass. That's going to be a really cool
Yep.
show.
That'll be exciting.
Jesse's actually got me pretty busy. We actually this month, we have 3 Patreon recordings lined up that we're going to be doing. And I think you had another idea for another one. I haven't got it wrote down yet. So we got 3 of those coming up on the 17th.
Did I tell you about my other Patreon idea? I don't
Yeah, I
remember.
thought you did. I think you did.
Rereading my mind.
I was telepathically reading your mind. The 17th, we have a members only boots on the ground. And I'm trying to talk Kaylee into doing another daytime walk. We'll see if she'll do it. We'll bribe her with some pies or something. And what I'll do is I'll trick her. I'll buy her a pie and I'll let her eat it. Then I'll say, you really should go do the daytime walk and walk that pie off. You'll see if I can trick her into it. But yeah, the 17th is going to be a members only, boots on the ground. The appreciation for the members. We got 3 Patreon recordings coming up. We're doing one over what is in your food and is it really what they're saying. The other one coming up is going to be the drones over New Jersey. And then we have another one coming up. Why are creatures and demons around water and wells? Kind of what we touched on tonight with Travis. And then I think you had another idea, and I don't remember it.
Yeah,
But
I have to look again.
yeah, I don't remember. And then, guys, we will be working our way up to the new year, and I'm thinking about the 31st doing something on Wide Open Adventures, maybe bringing in the new year with all of you guys or something for the New Year's. Maybe a live or something for those of you who don't have anybody to share it with. You could come and share it with familiar friends and faces, and you won't have to bring the New Year's in alone. And I think it would be kind of neat for everybody because I wouldn't want anybody to be alone on that day. Harold, OCST, is doing, I believe, a Christmas thing for anyone that doesn't have anybody to spend Christmas with. They're going to go on and also do something kind of like that. So go check him out on that also. If y'all cannot find any pies at the Walmart or anywhere, that's probably because of Kaylee. So we're going to blame her for that this year. She's worse than the Grinch. She's a hungry one. She's like ignoring me right now. But yeah, we got a lot of that stuff coming up, guys. A lot of cool things coming up. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., boots on the ground, new location tomorrow night. We have not been here. So tomorrow night, we got a boots on the ground at 8 p.m., new location. Should be a fun one. We're getting out away from here because, well, I'm just going to say it. I have an individual threatening to drive around and show the locations I investigate at so that people afar and near will know where I'm going, which, in my opinion, is inciting violence. So if I was to get hurt at a location that was to be shown, I believe that would show premeditated, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think it's all purposely done, in my opinion. And I don't believe that it is, I don't believe it's with well intention. That's my opinion.
I have to agree with that.
I think it's very, very evil, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And under the Constitution of the First Amendment, I can voice that opinion.
Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I'm Stephen Michael McKee. That's who I am. Do you hear me, Stephen Michael McKee? You didn't give me any of your time. I just want you to love me and talk to me just one time. Not today, Satan. But anyways, guys, we will catch you on the next one. Anything you want to say to lead us out of here, Miss Jessie Christensen?
Nope. Just everybody take care. Think about the holidays right now, and especially like what you were saying, not everybody has somebody for the holidays, and right now is a really hard time for a lot of people with the winter blues and the holidays and family and everything else. So be nice to your neighbors and reach out and, a little bit more patience, a little bit more caring to everybody this time of year, and God bless you all. Take care.
And if you take Grandma Christmas shopping with you and she doesn't get out, get her some hot cocoa, some coffee, and leave the car running so that heater's still going because Grandma might get cold. It's just not the summer you got to worry about. It's also the winter. We love our elderly people. Mom's staring me down. But yeah, I think that's just about all I've got. But again, guys, this is Stephen Michael McKee from Abnormal Investigations, and I appreciate y'all being here. Until next time, guys, tomorrow night at 8 p.m., you better show up. Be there, be square, or the Grinch is going to get you, and the Krampus, and they're all going to show up at your house. But no, we'll see you tomorrow night, guys. We love you. Good night. God
Good
bless.